Hi, hello and welcome from wherever you join me today. Yes, it's me again, Jim Black from the Three Hats Stage Media channel, trying to provide entertaining content media for all the world's stages. This is a Pause for Thought edition where I review one of my favourite movies and see what messages we can take from it and how we could use those insights in today's busy lives. All the movies come from a book or screenplay, have a great cast and a fantastic soundtrack. As you can see from the lightbox just to my side, today's movie is no exception. It's Judy from 2019. It's based on the stage musical by Peter Quilter, End of a Rainbow, and the screenplay for the movie has been written by Tom Edge. There's an all-star cast. You've got Renee Zellweger, she plays Judy, and you might know her as Bridget Jones, Chicago, or even Jerry Maguire, which was a recent review of mine, and you can catch that after this if you want to. There's Jessie Buckley, she plays Rosalyn Wilder, and you might know her from Chernobyl, the TV series Fargo, or The Last Post. There's Finn Wittrock, he plays Mickey Deans, and he was in La La Land. There's Michael Gambon, he plays Bernard Delfont, and he was Dumbledore in the Harry Potter series, as well as appearing in Layer Cake. There's Rufus Sewell, he plays Sid Luft, and you might know him from the 11th Hour, Victoria, which was a TV series, as well as the movie Cold Comfort Farm, which was an adaptation of a Stella Gibbons novel. There's Andy Nyman, he plays Dan, and he was in Peaky Blinders, as well as a part in the upcoming Unforgotten series that's in production at this moment in time. And then there's John Dagleish, and he plays Lonnie Donegan, and you may know him from Truckers or Christopher Robin. So I ask, is it right? Aren't we taught that books are more than just covers? And if so, why do we look at people and only believe in what we see and hear about them? Let's get into this review and find out. Have you ever looked at people, especially celebrities, people in the news, public figures, and you believe in what you see and hear about them? But every book has a cover with many things in it, and we're always told to look deeper. But obviously we can't with some things like that, because there's only that public image. But behind every smile, there's something going on that you may not know about. This is when we should stand back and just think for a minute, and maybe not jump on many bandwagons like people do and start attacking people, especially those we don't know, all the way through. The people close to you, you think you know what's going on, but you've got a chance with them because you can always ask them and talk to them and listen to them. Treat them with a bit of kindness and see if anything that you can do could make their lives better. You might not be able to because their life might be just so perfect, but we should all stop, look and listen and not judge those books by a cover that we think is what it's all about. Judy's life has been written in many different books with many different covers, and many of us may believe that we know Judy Garland from what we've read and heard about her. This story follows Judy towards the end of her life when she comes over to London to perform at the Talk of the Town. So let's see how Judy adapts to her surroundings with the people she meets and the influences that's still going on and pushing her in the directions that she may or may not have wanted to go in. As we get into the plot, another favourite movie of mine from 2019. Great acting, well written and a good little story. It might not be 100% true to the timeline, but it does show you Judy's life on flashbacks and present day, well, 1969 that is, of what it was all about for her and how she's ended up at this place at this time. It starts on the set of The Wizard of Oz, and there's a clue there because there's a yellow brick road, although I can't see any munchkins, but I believe they were all on their lunch at the time. Louis B. Mayer has taken Judy to one side and he's either giving her a pep talk or a telling off. I'm not sure which. He's telling her how lucky she is and how all the other girls in America would want to be Judy Garland. The only difference is none of them can sing because she's got a voice of an angel. It then flashes back to present day, well, about 1968 I think, and she's in a car with her two children, Lorna and Joey, and the father of them is Sid Luft, who we'll meet in a minute. She gets back to a hotel after a show, and the children go everywhere with her and sometimes perform with her. She's scratching around for work and money because of the financial difficulties she finds herself in. Back at the hotel, her credit has been refused. So what can she do? She must go and see Sid Luft, the father of the 2 children, because after all, they need somewhere to sleep. She leaves the kids at his house and off she goes to a party where she meets her other daughter, Liza. She also meets Mickey Deans, who's a nightclub manager from somewhere else in the US. They get on, they have a great time, they talk, they even play the piano, and it's a representation of 2 people meeting later to become friends and maybe possibly enemies at the end. But I'm not going to give that away just yet. Then there's another flashback where we find ourselves in a hamburger joint somewhere in America, probably near to the studios, with cameras and Mickey Rooney and Judy, both very young, pretending to have a good time. Just for the cameras, that is. Judy wants to eat the chips and the burgers, as you would. Mickey's allowed to, because men were. But Judy has to keep her weight down, because if she's in the middle of filming, she can't suddenly get big and small, because the continuity can be affected. Little joke there. Hope you like that. Judy's guardian makes sure that she doesn't eat anything. Probably the first times that she was introduced to drugs. She's given some tablets to take the edge off her hunger. And this is probably one of the first times that she started to be drugged up. Sleeping pills, eating pills, uppers and downers. They wanted her sharp all the time so they could work her constantly, non-stop. Because after all, she made a lot of money for the studio. We come back to present day, where she has a chat with one of her friends who convinces her that London is the place to go because they're offering big money and maybe she could just get out of the financial problem she's in and get away from everybody and start living the life that she really wants. So reluctantly she agrees, but she wants to take the children. However, she's not allowed to take them out of the country. Another controlling feature of Judy's life. We get to London, she's in a posh hotel and she's going to perform at the Talk of the Town for Bernard Delfont. She's given a personal assistant of Rosalyn Wilder, whose job is to look after her while she's under contract. There's some great scenes here to show her loneliness, her depression and her anxiety. There's the meeting with the band leader to try and go through all the songs that she's going to sing. But she's done it so many times, she doesn't need to do that, which upsets him a little bit, and Rosalyn of course, because they believe that rehearsal is important to get it right for the show that's that evening. There's another scene where she's wandering through the hotel late at night. She meets one of the porters and he gets her some warm milk because that's a good old-fashioned thing that can calm you down and make you sleep. We come to opening night. She's not ready. She's late. What's going to happen? Will she make it? Well, of course she will. Rosalind and the makeup artist rush round to the hotel. The Talk of the Town is kept swinging with the band playing and music and dancing, and they get Judy ready and all of a sudden she's on stage. There's a great show-stopping scene here where Judy sings By Myself. It may not have been sang on opening night, but it is one of the songs that Judy sang in her lifetime. So again, timeline might not be correct, but it makes the point, and it's a great number, well sung by Renee. So first night is a success, and from there we have a flashback to what is supposedly her 16th birthday party. There's a pool, there's people, there's music, there's dancing, there's cake, there's sandwiches, there's everything that a girl would have on a 16th birthday party. But it's not real, it's fake. It's been set up in the studio, it's going to be filmed, and on her birthday, which isn't even on that day, everybody in the world will see that Judy Garland is a happy girl celebrating her life, which is what it's all about. It's the image, it's the impression, but it's not true. And she jumps into the pool to show everybody how dissatisfied she is with her life. But then Louis B. Mayer turns up, and this is a dark scene. It's shown in a contained space. It shows how tall he is to how small she is. He's overbearing. He's overpowering her with his words. He's telling her how bad she is. What is it all about? If she wants to be like all those other girls in America, walk out those doors and he will put somebody else in her place. It's a bullying tactic that's used by people. And like I said, it's a horrible dark scene. But it does give you the idea of that must be what it was like because of how she's ended up in present day. So we're now back at the Talk of the Town. We see a few nights passing by and she's singing the trolley song. There's a montage of life from past and present, and it's a great rendition by Renee again. So at the end of one of her shows, we see her walking out the stage door. She's going to meet Stan and Dan, two of her greatest fans, and she's often seen them at many of the performances that she's been doing. She asks them if we can go for a drink. So they say yes, and they try and find somewhere that's open very late at night. And if you remember, way back when, things used to shut at certain times, so they end up back at the apartment of the two men. They try and make her an omelette, and there's lots of chats about life gone by for Judy and how fabulous she is in their eyes. Stan falls asleep on the settee, and Dan begins to play the piano. And there's a great version, it's a slowed down version of Get Happy, and you should really watch it just for that. Now, we've already had quite a few songs, and I'm not going to burst into song, although I want to. But if you stick around to the end, I might just. Well, maybe not. Mickey Deans arrives in London as a surprise for Judy. She is so pleased. It's somebody that she knows, well, not a lot, but she knows him. And he's from the States, so everything's like nice for her again. So they end up in a bar, having a chat with different people. And it's a great scene. She seems happy, she seems bubbly, and he wants to be everything he can for her. So they agree to get married. Not sure why, because this is husband now number 5. So in the registry office in Chelsea, they perform their vows, and they're now man and wife. So Mickey Deans is now a manager. He's got a great deal idea, and he's going to go off and try and sort it out, which will make Judy rich beyond her wildest dreams again. But she's heard that so many times. But like so many times, she also believes it. So what could possibly go wrong? In life, we all have triggers that set us off in good and bad ways. And for Judy, it's just the same. They show an interview on British TV where the questioner wants to know all about the things that she doesn't want to talk about, because it's all the things that have been blown out of proportion all through her life. She wants to talk about the here and now and the future maybe. But as usual, if you're an icon like that, they're going to hound you until the end and think they can get away with it. After the interview, she goes back to the hotel and Mickey turns back up. The deals have gone wrong. It's not exactly what he wanted, but he can still get something out of it. This upsets her greatly. And on the night that she's performing, she has a breakdown on stage. She collapses, the crowd hate her, they boo her, and it's not a good end. What could possibly happen next? Bernard Delfont is a bit upset. He's paying a lot of money for her, and he wants her on that stage. Rosalyn's tried to do everything she can for her. She wants to take her out and look after her. But again, it's Judy Garland. She's heard it so many times, and she's been misled on numerous occasions. She gets sent to a doctor. Again, it's an interpretation of things that people may have read about her. She will have seen doctors in the past on numerous occasions, because she's that type of woman that's had life really kicked out of her. She has a problem with drugs. She needs them to keep her up and keep her down. She has a problem with alcohol. She has a problem with smoking. All the things that have made her this person she is today. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in the trivia. Well, the doctor part of it anyway. What could possibly go wrong for Judy now? Well, her ex-husband, Sid Luft, flies into town, and there's a confrontation scene where he tells her that he wants custody of those children, and they also want that. Judy's very upset at this point. Things are going to get worse for her. But will they ever get better? The marriage that she's just had is breaking down. The contract that she's just signed for the talk of the town is finishing. It's not working. Bernard Delfont doesn't want her anymore, and she's told to stay away. Back in her hotel room, Rosalyn and the band leader, Burt, come and fetch her. They take her for tea, and Burt Rhodes and Rosalyn Wilder try and give her the best time they can. She takes a bite of cake, which is again a representation of how she actually likes cake, but has never really been allowed to eat it. And that is shown in this scene. At the end of the scene, Judy asks Rosalind if she can go and see the show, just stand in the sidelines and just get one more feeling that she is a part of something. Rosalind agrees and takes her back. And this is where the spoiler alarms are going off. But I am going to tell you a little bit more, because there is more to her story beyond this, which you'll have to get the film to find out. She's standing in the wings, the band are playing, and Lonnie Donegan is just about to go on, because now he is the star, because obviously Judy can't perform anymore. Judy asks Lonnie if she can go on for one last song. He agrees. She walks on the stage and the crowd start to cheer. And there's 2 final songs. The first one is a great rendition of Come Rain and Come Shine. It gets the crowd going. She's performing at her best. Probably, like the times when she used to, from way back when. And then she does a final song. And can you guess what it is? Yes, it's Over the Rainbow. And again, it's another version of the song done in a different format. She loses her way towards the end and the crowd get up and start to sing the rest of the song for her. There's great applause. So it's the end of the show. But is it the end for everything? You just have to wait and see. What will happen to her is anybody's guess. She's a book with a cover. If you want to know about her, you are going to have to read and learn about her. But if you read as much as you can, then you might get a good impression of what the woman was really like. It's a difficult life that she's led, but it's like everybody's. Behind the painted smile, what's going on? Look at somebody and have a think. And if you don't know, ask them. Kindness, loving, understanding, listening goes a long way. What's your story? And how many book covers have you got? And remember, somebody's looking at you that doesn't know you and they're getting an impression of you. So try and be the best you can and try and treat them with the same respect. And now the trivia and facts about this movie. Judy Garland died in 1969 and it was the same year that Renee Zellweger was born. The talk of the town is now the Hippodrome Casino in London. So they had to use the Hackney Empire Theatre to stage this film. Judy Garland was christened Frances Ethel Gumm. She was born on the 10th of June 1922. She died on the 22nd of June 1969 at the age of 47. What a sad loss. I told you earlier about the doctor scene. Well, in 1959 she was told by a doctor that she may never work again and her career had come to an end. In 1961 she performed at Carnegie Hall in a concert that was called Judy at Carnegie Hall. It created a best-selling double album which stayed on the Billboard charts for 99 weeks and spent 13 weeks at number 1. So not bad for somebody that was told it was all over. A lesson to us all. The final bit of trivia I've got for you is that in 1954 Judy appeared in A Star is Born. She was supposed to win the Oscar for Best Actress the following year, but it went to Grace Kelly for The Country Girl. The Oscars even thought she was going to win and sent a film crew to the maternity ward where she was about to give birth to Joey, her son, which only goes to prove that ceremonies such as that, where we think that people are going to win, might not always happen. Oh, and incidentally, Groucho Marx said it was the greatest train robbery ever committed. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I'm not going to tell you much about the music in this movie because I've already mentioned quite a few of the songs. The soundtrack is exceptional and it's somebody else's rendition of all the Judy Garland songs, and in this case, Renee Zellweger. It's a great soundtrack and I suggest you download it. I hope you've enjoyed this movie review. If you want to know where my thoughts and inspirations come from, please click on one of the links in the bio below and it'll take you for a closer look. If you want to join our community, then hit that subscription button, only once of course, and it is free of charge. If you want to know when the next one's uploaded, strike that bell and it'll let you know. Comments are always welcome, please leave them and I'll get back to you as and when I can. I've been Jim Black for the Three Hats Stage Media channel for this edition of Pause for Thought. See you again soon.